So as a very quick intro, I found out the other day that Kona is going to extend the Kona Ambassador Program for 2020. I actually applied in 2019, but my application was terrible, so I didn't get in. So here goes. Hi, I'm Conrad Llewellyn-Davies. No one uses my middle name. I'm a husband to Stephanie and a father to Eliana. I'm a avid videographer. I'm a cyclist. I just love riding. I like riding in the bike park with people. I love going on long road rides with friends. So yeah, I'm a cyclist. Trail builder and bike park manager in Bike Park Heinenklee in the Harz Mountains in Germany. And I'm a South African. It would have to be a process. It's like the perfect platform. It's the most versatile platform that Kona makes. In fact, it's probably one of the most versatile bikes that anybody makes at the moment. Whether it be the 153 or the 134, they're both really great bikes to pretty much do any kind of riding with. You can, obviously the 153 is a bit bigger and you can do bigger stuff, and the 134 is obviously a little bit more efficient and a little lighter, and that's kind of like my dream bike now. It's I think Kona went out and developed my dream bike. Hopefully I'll get one soon and I'll make a dream build out of it, and then it'll be even better. Like, as far as places to ride, yeah, Whistler and Fenelle Ligure, and there's tons of places that are dream destinations. But for me, I'm South African, I miss riding trails in South Africa, so my dream would be to go back and ride Joburg to Sea again. They are some of the best trails you'll ever ride in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, so why not? Yeah, it's 9 days, Joburg to Sea, so it's a little bit more than a week. But that would be my dream bike. The 134 in a dream destination would be KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. It's a tough question to answer, but it's because you can't really see yourself always. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to know exactly what makes you unique. People will tell you what makes you unique. So I was lucky enough that a couple of months ago, an ex-boss of mine did a video. He's a vlogger, Richard Mulholland. And he did this video about Stan Lee. And he mentioned me in that video, and it made me aware of the fact that what makes me unique as a person and as a cyclist is that I'm really proud of what I do. And not only that, but obviously I try to do stuff that I can be proud of.
In fact, let me go back a bit. There used to be a guy who worked for me at Missing Link. His name was Conrad Davies. He was a great guy. In fact, he's still a great guy. He just no longer works at Missing Link. And when Conrad came to us, before he came to Missing Link, he had a company, and it was probably my favorite company name of all time. His company was called I Made This. And it was the idea that this was a guy who would sell something, and everything he sold to you, he would basically say, I made this. He was that proud of his work that he was willing to say, I made this, I made this. And I think if more people thought like him, they would put more pride into what they do.
The reality is that what makes me unique as a person and as a cyclist is that I always try my best. So I put in all the effort I can, whether it be in my dream builds, which you've seen, like my daughter's bike, the purple Process 24. I really paid attention to every detail there. Not only to make it a really nice looking bike, but to make a really great bike for her to ride and have fun on. And the same goes with my trail build. I build trails that I believe people will have fun to ride, but also that would be good for the environment. Like, we have massive erosion issues here in the Harz in Germany, and we have water contamination issues and stuff like that. So not only are my trails fun to ride, but they're also good for the environment from the point of view that they don't cause any more erosion. In a lot of cases, they actually stop some of the erosion on the hill. And then, like in preparation for like a stage race, when I did Joburg to Sea, I did everything I could. I changed my eating habits. I took the right supplements, and I trained really, really, really hard so that I could get to the end of that event and be really proud of a finish. Basically, we weren't going for a win as a team. We were going for a finish, and we finished even with a crash on day 8. I managed to damage my knee pretty badly, but I was strong enough to be able to push through that because of all the training that I'd done and because of how well prepared I was. So what makes me unique as a person and as a cyclist is that I just like to put my name on everything. I studied graphic design, and while I was doing that I studied bike mechanicking. I got really seriously into bike mechanicking, but graphic design was my job. I got more into videography. I went to work for a company called Missing Link as a video animator, and learned a lot about animation and videography and production and so on, and that's kind of like stuck with me. And then when we moved to Germany and I got involved in the bike park, I was here as a shaper and then got involved in the marketing, and I started playing around with GoPros and doing like POV runs down the hill. And then last year I bought a drone, and that was like a real turning point. I started editing more. The plan is to launch a YouTube channel in the spring of 2020, kind of inspired by the likes of Casey Neistat as well as the obvious Seth's bike hacks. It was actually his trail building that got me into like watching his channel, and I was like, I like trail building. I build trails all the time, so why don't I film them, or film the process of building trails and then put out video. But I'd like the channel to go a step further than that, in that it's not only going to be for the entertainment of watching somebody build a new trail, but I'd like to base it around my Instagram handle, which is Ride Bikes Be Happy. And the plan there is to basically give people tips, maybe not as in-depth as Seth does, but good tips for maintaining your bike, riding your bike, just generally having fun on your bike so that you can ride bikes and be happy. All the ones that stand out are going to be the ones that are creative. The guys and girls that are producing video, the illustrators, those people. I gravitate towards those kind of people because that's who I am. So people that ride bikes and do creative stuff, I think they're awesome. And the reality is there's so much good stuff coming out of there. Maybe I'm a little bit looser on like what's good, because I don't believe that anything can really be that bad in the creative space, because creativity is about where you are and what you're doing at the time, and so it's part of a story, and it's really cool to follow along with people's stories, and I like to get involved with that to a large extent, to be able to tell my story, but also to be able to travel along with somebody else on their story and be a part of that, and maybe produce some content around other people's stories as well as mine. As a South African, Greg Minnaar's always been my hero. He's a really cool guy. I've drunk beers with him, I've ridden bikes with him, I've hung out on the beach with him. He's a cool guy. But I respect all the South Africans that are putting themselves out there and doing cool things in the world of cycling, whether it be racing, Johan Potgieter, Andrew Nettling, Christopher Philogene, in the photography space, Gary Perkin and Sven Martin, Mike van Zyl, in the cool things that he's done in as a mechanic and now as a product developer at SRAM. I know how hard it is to break into the world outside of South Africa as a South African, and I respect anybody that's doing that well. I believe I should be a Kona ambassador because I believe so much in the brand and the product. So I like Kona as a brand. It's obviously a cool brand to be involved with. It's cool to wear the shirts and ride the bikes and so on. But it goes further than that, in that I actually really believe in the product that the brand represents. When people ask me what bike to buy, I tell them a Kona. If they point out that they're trying to break into racing as a downhill racer or an enduro racer, I always tell them to go to our bike rental station in the bike park, because they are Kona rental space and they sell off bikes at the end of every season. So why not get yourself a decent 1-year-old bike, because that bike's going to work. That's what you want. You want a bike that just works, so that you don't have to spend a ton of money getting additional parts for it and a ton of money paying somebody else to help you set it up and all that sort of stuff. You want to just get out and ride, and that's what Konas are. They're bikes that you can just get out and ride. And yeah, so I really believe in the brand, and I am kind of a Kona ambassador already. So the reason I'd like to be in the Kona Ambassador Program is because I'd just like a little bit more help to be a better ambassador.